When it comes to weaponry, Russia is famous for the most advanced and strategic countries in various aspects, from being a threat to America to being a destroyer for Ukraine. Over the years, they have made a few upgrades to their weaponry and are now known to hold one of the deadliest, if not the deadliest weapons on Earth. Yes, you heard it right. Though they have a lot of dangerous weapons, the Tsar Bomba is said to be their deadliest. Why, you may ask? Well, stay tuned with us to find out more about the Tsar Bomba and why it is termed as Russia's deadliest weapon. The origin. Tsar Bomba is the Western name for the largest and most powerful nuclear weapon ever detonated. Developed by the Soviet Union, the bomb of about 50 megatons was codenamed Ivan by its developers. The bomb was tested on October 30, 1961 in Novaya Zemlya, an island in the Arctic Sea. The device was scaled down from its original design of 100 megatons to reduce the resulting nuclear fallout. Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev initiated the project on July 10, 1961, requesting that the test take place in late October, while the 22nd Congress of the CPSU was in session. This 15-week deadline could be met because the needed nuclear components were all off the shelf. Your continuous support allows us to expand our work, and we are so grateful for that. We are always eager to create more videos for you, and we think you will enjoy our presentations on latest military updates and related news. We are focusing on latest military news, updates, and developments. Consider subscribing to Military Zone to show your support. As of 2022, the country has roughly 6,000 nuclear warheads, making it the world's biggest arsenal of nuclear weapons. Russia owns about half of the world's nuclear weapons, with the US having just roughly 4,000. Russia has roughly 1,600 deployed missiles, those that are ready to shoot at any time. The remaining weapons are either in reserve stocks or have been deactivated and will be decommissioned. In 1986, Russia's previous state, the Soviet Union, had a nuclear arsenal of around 45,000 warheads. The bilateral New START deal with the United States now limits the number of nuclear weapons Russia can possess. The name Tsar Bomba refers to the ancient Russian tradition of erecting impractically big structures to demonstrate might or prowess, such as a giant bell, the world's largest cannon, and the cumbersome Tsar tank. Despite the fact that the bomb was given this name by Western sources, the officially anti-monarchist Soviet Union would not have called a symbol of national pride after its former rulers. It is now frequently used in Russia. Codenamed Ivan during its development, the Tsar Bomba was not intended for use in warfare, but should be seen as an instance of the Cold War-era saber-rattling indulged in by the USSR and the USA. Moreover, the USSR had recently ended a de facto moratorium on nuclear tests, which lasted for nearly 3 years, and was about to deploy nuclear weapons in Cuba, which led to the Cuban Missile Crisis. In a speech to the United Nations General Assembly about the test, Khrushchev used the Russian idiom "show somebody Kuzka's mother," which means to punish. Because of this, sometimes the weapon is referred to as Kuzka's mother in Russian sources. Mechanics inside Tsar Bomba. The Tsar Bomba was a multi-stage hydrogen bomb with a yield of about 50 megatons. The initial 3-stage fission-fusion-fission design was capable of approximately 100 megatons, but at the cost of too much radioactive fallout. To limit the fallout, the 3rd stage, consisting of a uranium-238 fission tamper, which greatly amplifies the reaction by fissioning uranium atoms with fast neutrons from the fusion reaction, was replaced with one made of lead. As a result, it was one of the cleanest nuclear bombs ever built, producing very little fallout in comparison to its yield. There was a strong incentive for this feature regression, as most of the fallout from the test of the bomb would fall on populated Soviet territory. The components were designed by a team of physicists, headed by academician Julie Borisovich Karaton. Shortly after the Tsar Bomba was detonated, Sakharov began speaking out against nuclear weapons, which culminated in him becoming a full-blown dissident. The Tsar Bomba was flown to its test site by a specially modified Tu-95 release plane, which took off from an airfield in the Kola Peninsula, flown by Major Andriy Idurnotsev. The release plane was accompanied by a Tu-16 observer plane, which took air samples and filmed the test, hence the movie stills that illustrate this and other articles about the test. Both aircraft were painted with a special reflective white paint to limit heat damage. Specification of the Tsar Bomba. The bomb, weighing 27 tons, was so large that the Tu-95 had to have its bomb bay doors and wing fuel tanks removed. The bomb was attached to an 800-kilogram fall retardation parachute, which gave the release and observer planes time to fly about 45 kilometers from ground zero. Failing such retardation, the bomb would have either reached its planned detonation altitude so fast it would have turned the test into a suicide mission, or crashed into the ground at high speed with unpredictable results. The USA has fitted a few of its nuclear bombs with parachute retardation for the same reason. An apocryphal story has it that the fabrication of this parachute required so much raw nylon that the small Soviet nylon hosiery industry was noticeably disrupted. The weight and size of the Tsar Bomba limited the range and speed of the specially modified bomber carrying it and ruled out its delivery by an ICBM, although on December 24, 1962, a 50-megaton ICBM warhead developed by Chelyabinsk-70 was detonated at 24.2 megatons to reduce fallout. Much of its high yield was, in terms of organic destruction, inefficiently radiated upwards into space. It has been estimated that detonating the original 100-megaton design would have released fallout amounting to about 25% of all the fallout emitted since the invention of nuclear weapons. Hence, the Tsar Bomba was an impractically powerful weapon. The Soviets decided that such a test blast would create too great a risk of nuclear fallout and a near certainty that the released plane would be unable to reach safety before detonation. The Tsar Bomba detonated at 11:32 a.m., located approximately over the Mityushika Bay nuclear testing range, north of the Arctic Circle on Novaya Zemlya Island in the Arctic Sea. The bomb was dropped from an altitude of 10,500 meters and designed to detonate at a height of 4,000 meters over the land surface, or 4,200 meters over sea level by barometric sensors. The original USA estimate of the yield was 57 megatons, but since 1991, all Russian sources have stated its yield as only 50 megatons. Nonetheless, Khrushchev warned in a filmed speech to the Communist Parliament of the existence of a 100-megaton bomb. The fireball touched the ground, reached nearly as high as the altitude of the released plane, and was seen 1,000 kilometers away. The heat could have caused third-degree burns at a distance of 100 kilometers. The subsequent mushroom cloud was about 60 kilometers high and 30 to 40 kilometers wide. The explosion could be seen and felt in Finland, even breaking windows there. Atmospheric focusing caused blast damage up to 1,000 kilometers away. The seismic shock created by the detonation was measurable even on its third pass around the Earth. The detonation of Tsar Bomba therefore qualifies even to this day as being the single most powerful device ever utilized throughout the history of humanity. By contrast, the largest weapon ever produced by the United States, the now decommissioned B-41, had a predicted maximum yield of 25 megatons, and the largest nuclear device ever tested by the USA, the Castle Bravo, yielded 15 megatons. Note the recent comparison with asteroid impacts that may have formed the Chicxulub crater and the Wilkes Land crater, both larger events by some 6 orders of magnitude. It was feared that many, if not most, bombers would fail to reach their targets because their size and low speed made detection and interception easy. Hence, maximizing the firepower carried by any single bomber was vital. Before satellite intelligence, each side lacked precise knowledge of the location of the other side's military and industrial facilities. A bomb dropped without the benefit of satellite navigation systems could easily miss its intended target by 5 kilometers or more. Parachute retardation would only worsen this inaccuracy. Thus, certain bombs were designed to wipe out an entire large city, even if dropped 5 to 10 kilometers from its center. This objective meant that yield and effectiveness were positively correlated, at least up to a point. However, the advent of ICBMs accurate to 500 meters or better, and especially the advent of satellite navigation, made such a design philosophy obsolete. Subsequent nuclear weapon design in the 1960s and 1970s focused primarily on increased accuracy, miniaturization, and safety. The standard practice for several years has been to employ multiple smaller warheads such as MIRVs to carpet an area. This is believed to result in greater ground damage. Although a success, Tsar Bomba was never considered for operational use. Given its size, the device could not be deployed by a ballistic missile. Instead, the bomb had to be transported by conventional aircraft, which could easily be intercepted before reaching its target. Tsar Bomba was viewed as a propaganda weapon. Following the 1961 blast, Sakharov became increasingly involved in efforts to limit nuclear tests to underground. Such a ban was signed by the United States, Britain, and the USSR in 1963, and numerous other countries later joined the treaty. With this information, I hope you now understand why the Tsar Bomba is classified as the most deadly weapon on Earth. If you have an idea of any other weapon that can be compared to it, let us know your opinions in the comments section. See you in the next video.